All right, so presumably this audio is working now. If not, please let me know. Okay, so we've known about this for a couple of days. I advised the BSA on things here and there, and they've helped us out. And stuff. They're one of the few organizations that are worth dealing with. There doesn't matter if you're a socialist, and I realize I'm actually not black myself, but it's a fucking amazing organization, and I say that very rarely. And I think anyone can verify that I don't say nice things about almost anyone. And this is going to be everything's going to be fine, I think. But that is also predicated on making sure that they get their fair share of fucking of basic media coverage over this, because it's a public policy thing. It's not just for them. It's obviously is news. What happened was over the weekend, on whichever I forgot which day. I must have been Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday. The first day of the Philly lockdown that commenced over the weekend. An FBI agent, whose name I'll give you in a moment, left his card at the home of this 20-year-old activist, this very square kid, probably one of the few people in Philadelphia who the FBI doesn't need to be fucking going after, or looking at least. Again, a very diligent young man with a group that has been around for only 3 years, gets very few resources, but has done spectacular things already. Left a card for him, asking him to call him. Very polite card. He wrote on the back, please, thank you. They came to me on this because they have so few resources that they have to come, that they they just take what they can get. Anyway, so they came to me to ask about it, since I have some familiarity with this particular area, and so I looked into it. I called the FBI agent myself on their behalf, recorded both the conversations I had with them yesterday, put those up on YouTube in a private link. I'll make those public in a moment. As anyone will see, some people have seen this just in the last day or so, because I was preparing for just for whatever. As you'll see there, the recordings leave no doubt this is a fucked up thing. Anyway, you'll see. So right now, so I have them. They have ongoing advice right now. They're in touch with Arman Aston, who's an extraordinary lawyer in New York that I met a while back. He's involved with the National Lawyers Guild, other stuff. He's talking to him right now, and to Arman, and to Z, as we refer to him, the founder guy in New York. Great guy. Anyway, so he's in touch with both of them, and I've sent some emails to some other lawyers. We're trying to get all that situated. What I really need right now is people to follow them. They have a Facebook page here. They have a Twitter account at Black Socialists. What they need is a lot of light shine on this, because this is. I was convinced, and I told them I was wrong. Like I told them, oh yeah, they're backed off now. But so just about half an hour ago, he told me they're there at his work. And I don't know how many agents saw that, but find out. And I know, and I'll talk about this other agent a bit, and in a moment I'm going to call that particular agent. I'm going to try to do multitasking here. So, and so that multitasking is going to involve calling up some FBI agents. My new toy I have here, the Austin's tools that I used to just depend on other people to use for me, and now I can use to get the home number and a great deal else about any American citizen and many non-American citizens. And so we won't have to depend on the FBI's main extension line. We'll be going straight to their cell phones, and see, this kid's 20, so I think I mean, I hope I can get them on their cell phones. I hope I don't have to call them at their homes and leave a message on their home answering, home voicemail, because that would be a travesty. So I sure fucking hope that we can reach them without that becoming necessary. But just as when they left the card at this kid's parents' house, sometimes, obviously in the course of day-to-day business, sometimes you have to reach to somebody. It's very important. And obviously, it was urgent that these guys, and I'll get into this in a more more coherent manner in a second. They're basically trying to. Well, the guy didn't say it outright, and again, that's part of this FBI agent that I talked to. He was not willing to say outright, "Oh, we think this guy made a threat against law enforcement," because they don't like to get stuck in a particular storyline. Great reason why that's the case is if you look at many federal cases of activists, the storyline tends to change a lot, and they depend upon the press not noticing, and they depend upon these things just coming out real quick, and that's terrible, and then just going in and no ongoing focus being forthcoming. They depend on it, and they gamble on it, and it's not a gamble for the most part. It's a very coherent strategy that is what a lot of people are naive about. Even like me, back in the day, it's really hard to envision kind of how this works. It's unusual. And that's a good question. Someone just asked, is there anyone filming it for a feed to grab? That's actually a very good question. Hey, Arman, is there any way at all that anyone there who has a smartphone, whatever, can be filming footage of these agents, like starting immediately? If there's not anyone there right now, can text me the actually address of the place, please. It's quite. Hopefully, there's someone filming that. I actually lectured this young person just literally yesterday about making sure he records and is ready to record at all times when he is being faced with this kind of thing. If he's anything like I was at 20 or 30 or a couple months ago, he will ignore this good advice. But we'll see. Luckily, there's other, Anyway, they'll have all kinds of footage, surveillance footage from that, whatever this place is. I forgot what it is, a restaurant or something in nearby locations. That presumably a Philly newspaper could get the footage from before the FBI thinks. Actually, I don't think the FBI would even bother with that, given how much has been exposed about this shit in the past, without it really mattering to any individual person engaging in the state oppression. I would be surprised if they bothered to go take footage of their agents there, because we've got so much more, and that doesn't fucking work. So why would it? It must be real fun to the FBI. Okay, so again, just to repeat here, and if you're in here, the chat, if you have a moment, since people are going to be sort of joining, if you can just maybe just repeat just a couple things. We need competent reporters to be aware of this. Repeat that, make that known. We need, we can provide exclusive shit. This was something that was going to be made public, for their safety anyway. We were working out the exact way to do it, and it's been kind of fast going. It's only been a couple of days, so okay. So yes, so just if you know somebody who's influential or clever or has a bunch of friends or is a reporter or whatever, or is sleeping with a reporter, please try to think of that person if you can. And I don't ask you to do this. I'm really going to stick on the demand. Hey, all of you should be doing this particular thing. I'm rarely in the middle of a crisis like this where there's all kinds of things going on. That I'm doing so is because it is unusually urgent because they've stepped it up themselves, the FBI, and because, like I said, this group is worth defending. It's not just on their backs. See, I'm losing them. And just Again, so please follow them on Facebook. If you have some kind of specialty thing that you can assist with, in particular, let them know. Put a comment. Or follow them on Twitter. You can find their website, blacksocialists.us, and email them. They're going to be hopefully. And if you've got something really useful, please tell me, and I will. I'll give it to you right now for the moment. Or if there's something useful, just you can send me a message on here, Messenger or whatever, or email me, and I'll credit it back to you momentarily. But primarily, please just inform people who can spread this further, because they're working from zero here. They have very little institute support from the establishment or like the pseudo establishment, and they've got a great following. It's the following. It's a lot of people who like to give up themselves a lot and they get that gets overworked, exhausted pretty quickly. Just to repeat, build up. Okay, let me do this. This is probably more helpful. This way I can convey what's going on here and also do this other thing at the same time. So I'm going to call up. Chair and throw them up. Hey, if you get a chance, can you call me? The FBI is at this 20-year-old Black Socialist American members at his workplace in Philadelphia, like right now. I just want to. You can just, or no, call me if you need to, but I mean, just if you could think of like anyone at all, like reporter-wise, who's not going to fuck this up and who, is not 100% worthless, please just pass that on to him. I've got these recordings of the FBI agent and all that, and all kinds of other stuff that's not public yet, so I can give them straight to them, whatever. Okay, that was a friendly call. Now we're going to do the fun part, which is the unfriendly calls. You haven't met yet our friend. You haven't met our new friend yet, so we haven't been able to make those public. I'll go ahead and do that right now, actually, because that'll save time. That way, people can start saying this. Now, this is a rough state here. Make these links public. This is footage. It's me done yesterday, day before that. I guess today's Wednesday now. With little notice, and I've been up already for about a day on this other thing that's happened with the coronavirus, activists and all that. And so, you have to bear with me, but I guarantee you, from whatever standpoint that you're on Facebook, for entertainment, for titillation, for activism, just to observe, I don't judge, whatever it is, it will have something worth it for you. It'll be like Shakespeare. There's something for everyone. I'm giving you my personal fucking insurance of that right now. I apologize to the extent that I'm less than efficiently coherent. On the other hand, I don't apologize. My fucking thing. There we go. All right, this is. Well, actually, no, it's still unlisted, but here's a link, and I'll make that unlisted in a second. This is part one. This is my original call with the FBI agent, agent. Let me get his name for you. I don't want to. You know what? Actually, he tells you his name himself really early on. It's kind of funny the way he does it too, because he's such a douchebag. So just here's his name from there. Oops, if I can push that. Push this. Okay, that's part one right there. I'll make that link. You can pass on anywhere now. Make it send it anywhere. Ow. Send it anywhere you like, and I'll make it public in a second since I figure out how to do that without turning off YouTube, which I'm old enough that turning off YouTube accidentally is an actual thing. As a person. And here is part two. This is the conversation I have with the same FBI. fucking bleeding my fucking tongue. Same FBI agent. About 2 hours later, on Monday, between me and him, he had said he would call me back after I spoke to the young man, and then you'll probably get this without me having to tell you, but a lot of the things that I tell him in these two conversations are either promises that are not intended to be kept, and which will be, like my promise to have him talk to the FBI, which is obviously the opposite of what we want. And then my assurances that I'd given the kid a talking to about his innocuous tweet about blacks defending themselves against the fucking cops who kill them constantly. He's a black cop, by the way. So if you remember the song, you know what to expect. All right, so I just posted those two links there. In a second, I will sort of set up something else that works. Oh, okay. Apologize. There's going to be some pauses here. Just bring your attention span into alignment with how things used to be back in the 90s. Just bear with me a fucking second. Don't be ungrateful. I entertain you for free, all of you, sometimes. When it's when I'm on. Not always, but today I'm gonna be very on. Wow, I'm that fucking bitch. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot about this. Apologies for the delay. I'm trying to several things at once. Just to reiterate, for those who are just joining us, the Philadelphia division of the FBI, some number of agents, I guess at least two, I'll have to check again, as of at least 30 minutes ago, were at the workplace. Okay, no, just get out of from there. Hold on a second. There were three people. Okay, so this is the FBI agents that were at the restaurant, or it's not, whatever this kid is, 20 years old, Arman Aston, Philadelphia. He's a good kid. He's a square kid. He is has not come close to committing a crime. They, if you look at the YouTube videos I just posted links to that we're now making public from my conversation with the fucking FBI douchebag who was trying to get him to talk to him, they have not even alleged a crime. And what they have said, without realizing I was recording it, like I always do when I talk to a fucking fed or any other animal, is that, what were they saying? That his tweet from the other day, or a couple weeks ago, that was reported to them, and they admit this. There's a screenshot anyway, but it's good that they admit this because it makes it easier. Was reported by an alt-right person on Twitter to the FBI, just at FBI on fucking Twitter, which I've shared the screenshot with a couple of reporters. It's something where I'm more than happy to make public as possible because it really helps our case, especially given what other screenshots I have of things on Twitter right now made by white nationalists, actual neo-Nazis, people using the hashtag oven ready, people who were involved in the Dallas orchestrated Day of the Brick hashtag a few years ago. Look that up. And Twitter hasn't known about them for 6 months. And if you'd like the verification on that, it's one of my Counterpunch articles from a few months ago when I sent it to them and also sent it to a reporter at the Daily Dot just to keep things nice and transparent. And so it's pretty, it is upsetting that they would go to the house of a 20-year-old activist, an organization that Noam Chomsky, I think he's still the most cited academic in the U.S., has endorsed, along with a wide variety of other people, former Black Panthers who are now, national figures, community leaders, respected people, but get invited to the White House these days. People who are not going to hurt any cops because it's just not viable. And what this kid wrote on a tweet, this 20-year-old kid, without the defense of being an alt-right Nazi whose guy controls the White House and thus has the ability to actually do things, was that blacks should consider self-defense against cops because of the way cops often kill blacks in this country. And this is something it's one of a couple of things that didn't resonate with me as much some years ago. It just didn't. I wasn't interested really in, like, we would say, black issues years ago, and I went to prison for 4 years, and even more so, there's other stuff that just gone down, and it's I've changed my mind a lot on that. And anyway, so one thing is a 20-year-old kid who did not violate any statutes. He did not say, I want to kill cops, I'm going to kill cops, you should kill cops, pray for cops. He didn't say any of the 50 or 60 things that I can point to in the last couple of weeks that I've said. Or even the things that have been, not only have been said by me or others on my Facebook page, but have been quoted by the fucking Tarrant County fucking garbage ass, the DA who's going after the mother of the young black man who was shot to death by Arlington Texas police last January, and who they're now suing the mother of the black man who was shot to death because she managed to get the body cam footage. This was a case that has not gotten much attention either. It's been abandoned because the Arlington police succeeded in muddying the waters early on. Blah blah. It just happens a lot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to start sentences and then end them successfully, so that I'm not confusing anyone. This is what he just told me. So, this is 6 minutes ago, so he's all good. I wasn't able to get a picture of them, but there were 3 people. 1 was white and 2 were black. The place I work at is called Above and Beyond Learning Center. And the address follows. The address is 35 Arlington Avenue, Stratford, New Jersey. I was in New Jersey, that's terrible. One Philadelphia. So I hate the Northeast. So there you have it. He is at, and I'll write this down in a moment. And if I guess it should be available to those that even just joined. If you scroll up, there's two recordings from 2 days ago between me and this FBI agent who I didn't have the heart to tell him this over the phone, but we know exactly where he grew up. Happened to be near the. You can take a look at those recordings. The first recording up there, the first like 5-6 minutes is me like dealing with the fucking FBI's weird, fucked up way they handle calls, and then finally getting him on the phone, and then assuring him over and over again, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to this kid and have him talk to you because I think that makes sense. And hopefully he doesn't look up my name in like the next 5 minutes and determine or see my FBI file and see why that's the like. It's an ironic thing for me to have told an FBI agent. I don't know if he did look me up, but he did call me 2 hours later. I was really shocked by that. They usually never only talk to me once. Then they're told, this is a crazy guy who records you. He is kind of a journalist, but also worse than that, and blah, blah, blah. He went after his mom. He's very erratic. Occasionally he pulls off a little, hit here and there, get something done. And he's better looking than all of us combined. But he did call me, and so the second recording is more of him saying even other things that even further make it clear that this has to end now, immediately. This is a public travesty. I mean, this is a federal agency at a time when, as I just revealed in the last couple hours, as much articles have come out now that congressional bodies and others have released the studies, everyone in the federal government has fucking failed you, and has failed the people who are going to die or lose their jobs at the best or whatever over the next however many months. The feds are now slowly admitting that. And here's FBI agents who, on the first day of the Philadelphia lockdown, went to the house of a 20-year-old over a tweet he wrote that was reported to them by a Pepe the Frog enthusiast who looks like Hemi Faye Baker on Twitter, and who claimed, as you can see in the recording, claimed that they just wanted to check out and make sure they wanted to, they just want to check out, make sure it's not a threat. It's all, freedom of speech and all that. I just wanted to get to a certain point, blah blah. And I, casually noted what the statutes actually are and why we won't meet them, but at the same time played good cop. And then the second call, as you'll see, I eventually played gradually bad cop. And there aren't any terms for the next phase. Because cops aren't people think the cops are cruel people, and sure, they're right in a way, but you can't really be a cruel person until you've really come to know a law enforcement agency that has pursued your friends and then lied about it after they died, or okay. Sorry, I'm gonna be a second here, so please, I'll be here, for the next however long, but I just have to talk to a couple people just about specific aspects of this real quick. As I said, scroll up if you want to see the two recordings, the YouTube recordings between me and the FBI agent in question. Yeah, and that's another point that someone just made, and I don't want to go into that because that's my thing. It's we're fine, but yeah, the FBI, suffice to say, has they have not generally been that enthusiastic about pursuing death threats, even when made by armed people under their own name to a black college professor at Vanderbilt University 7 years ago, who forwarded them all of those and then forwarded them to me. They have been less than enthusiastic on that. They were less enthusiastic about the threats received by Dallas area former electoral college member Chris Saprun, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Wow, fucking bitch. Sorry, that's they have not been great on. Oh yeah, electoral college member was threatened by pro-Trump people because he had stated that his reluctance to vote for Trump in electoral college, as is allowed within the system. He forwarded the threats. He was told, and this is actually, I'm going to get him in touch with one of his reporters. Actually, they ignored it, and they told him that they have to concentrate on the real threats. This is what he told me, and he'll repeat it. He's repeated it to others in private. He's actually a very, very solid guy. They have to focus on the real threats like black identity extremists. That's the Dallas FBI in particular. Probably not as bad as the FBI we're dealing with here, but it's the environment I came out of. So in my district, the Northern District of Texas, we do things a little differently than they might do in Philadelphia, because we don't end up, when you go before a judge eventually, the judge will be a fucking idiot in the South, most places in the South. That's a good rule of thumb. In Dallas, where I'm from, it's especially bad. And so there's really very little reason not to just go ahead and do whatever, because I went down in part. I received the sentencing enhancements for things that a Fox News commentator said about assassinating Julian Assange that I had quoted. And they used that and put it on my indictment and pretended that it was me talking about an FBI agent. You can see what Assange wrote about this during my trial. Anyway, suffice to say, there's no reason to deal with the feds in any way to impose civility. And that took me a long time to learn, but it's something that everyone learns eventually if you deal with them. This is especially true when they're going after a 20-year-old and they've just threatened his parents. I think fine. I'm still getting some details. I want to try to. He's an adult. I want to respect his privacy. On one hand, on the other hand, as I told them this morning, we're going to do whatever brings spectacle, because if the alternative is what it has been otherwise, when things get swept under, lost in the fog, as they often do. And I'm sorry, I've been trying to. Oh, okay, no, I did read this tweet. Okay, so I got that done. I read his message to you. Okay. Okay, so I'll be back with you guys in a second. Just please scroll up, look at those YouTube videos. If you have questions, please ask somebody else here, or just post them in the chat. Either hopefully someone else can respond to you, or I'll respond to you when I get back. I'll be here, but I'm just going to be, doing my thing. I wasn't. That was the de-escalation of that guy, but some of the Assange people are really acting very terribly about this right now, because they're upset that that I did not believe that Assange should receive all the resources of the sort that go to people like this otherwise, as he has for 10 years. And I've had other quibbles with the organization. And now I like the Black Socialists of America, as I have for the last couple of years. I'm trying to help them while the FBI is at their door. And so some of them are posting on my Twitter, taking issue with it. And that's all I'm going to say about that matter at the moment. We'll revisit it later. Okay, I gotta make these. Let's delist these. I'm sorry. Wait. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. I'll be back in a moment. See that. Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, if anybody, I'm going to be kind of semi here for a bit. If anybody has any questions, please ask them here, and then see my Twitter account, Twitter account that I now use. It's my Twitter account has been seized. Pursuance Proj. It's at Pursuance Proj. And there's some other stuff there on this issue and on the other issue we're dealing with, which is Brandon Baxter, who was rearrested yesterday by the U.S. Marshals a few hours after an article came out in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, in which he was quoted on BOP and this really fucked up halfway house company, this private company. It's a registered nonprofit, but I'll explain in a bit. I'll show you the articles. Talking about their coronavirus response and how it was endangering public health and those who were being held there. And then they rearrested. They did the same thing to me in 2017 when I was at halfway house. And that's the other thing. You can see more about that in other posts if you like. Because that's going to need some doing too. This is just somewhat more urgent right now. The Black Socialists thing. I'll be here probably for a couple of hours at least before I go to sleep. So just so you guys know. So I'm gonna put on some non Warner Brothers copyrighted auto algorithm protected music so that the ambiance will be helped and we'll all be more cheerful. I need it because I've got I have some difficulty with these kind of things. My bad. Go. Actually, hold on. So stand by. So if anybody, you know what? Yeah, so let me just take off for 1 second. Because I have to tell somebody this thing. Bernie Rockford, Rochford, executive, vice president of Oriana House, Oriana, based mostly in Ohio. Pseudo nonprofit proprietor of halfway houses that take BOP overflow, similar to Volunteers of America and VOA. Bernie Rockford. Okay. You know what? We'll start with this. I need to go. Bernie Rockford, who lives in Ohio. He lives at the following address. I can't tell you this. I can tell journalists this information because then it's not doxing. It's giving a journalist contact information, so he can call them to ask them why they're doing fucked up shit. But that's not, it's a legal gray area for non-journalists, whatever that means. On the other hand, the feds are really busy right now. Sorry, let's go. Hey, sorry for the delay. Bernie Rockford, Rochford. He's mentioned obviously in much of those articles. Sent you. Landline 330-867-9102. Other landline 330-679-1734. Wireless 330-603-4919. Other wireless 330-618-0905. Other landline 330-535-8116. Email addresses Rockford, it's B-R-O-C-H, Rockford @dell.com, Bernard Rockford @orianahouse.org, their website. Bernard Rockford @att.net, Bernie Rockford @orianahouse.org, Brockford @yahoo.com, RROCHFOR @neo.rr.com, and let me know if you need anything else. Oh shit, did I say that over while this thing was on? Now everyone got that information. That's terrible. I wish there was some kind of federal agency to turn myself into for that. That's the guy involved in the other issue that we were dealing with over the last 24 hours. The feds have been very busy since the lockdown. They haven't been busy with the actual purpose of the lockdown. They've just been arresting families of undocumented laborers in LA, and now the upstanding 20-year-old black kids in Philadelphia, and the whistleblower activists, ex-inmates in Ohio. The whites, the blacks, and actually, they're getting everybody. You have to give them that with the feds. I mean, they're not explicitly. The feds aren't really the ones who are racist as such. They're really more into the whole let's all come together and just let's all fuck up everybody, and you can come. It's really the local police agencies that are really more into the whole deal. This is not an exception because don't worry, these are black FBI agents. I promised to reveal the name of this guy. As I mentioned, you can have him introduce himself in those YouTube videos above. The first link, there's 2 links I posted up there. The first is the first call I had with him, FBI agent, on Monday. The second is 2 hours later. About 5 minutes into that first one, he explained his name is Joffrey. His name is Joffrey. I said, hello, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, is that you, Jeffrey? Hey, I'm from Texas. He said, this is Joffrey. I'm the FBI. I'm exaggerating his voice a little bit, but I don't want to be unfair. You'll have to check it out for yourself. Then his last name, sorry, it's one of the 5 things I need to pull up. Apologies. Remember, please, you can also follow, if you've got some tabs open, which you should. You can follow Black Socialists of America on Twitter at Black Socialists, or at Black Socialists, or something like that. On Facebook, just type Black Socialists in America. They've got a very robust, again, we're not just helping this group because it's a group that's activists. I hate other activists. They're always disappointing. There's very few exceptions, and all of them, like I'm very fond of. And these guys are up there. So we're not helping out a kid who's going to get fucked over. We are trying to assist a group that is helping you and others, trying to help them keep doing that. That's what we're doing, and that's why we're doing it. Oh, thank God. Oh, dude, yeah. Wow, okay. My policy is I try not to. Typically, Gillians is here. Speak of the devil. She is the only person in Dallas who will not be smited by probably Allah and Christian God and like made up gods from all over history all at once because of their wickedness. Because Dallas is a wicked city. She is among the few people who would go after each police shooting in the last year to the place it happens to record the scene because that has to be done by a non-journalist who's not getting paid and is also being harassed by the feds because that's not what the press does. It's what people who want to solve the case do. So we'll welcome her and also follow her on her page because I guarantee you things will get really crazy in the next couple of weeks and you don't have time to waste with everyone but me and particularly the Billions is a waste of your time. But I'm the best of all. Sorry. But yeah, and so you can follow them in there. I'm trying to keep everything coordinated here, so it's all kind of centralized. But again, it will be worthwhile to open up some tabs if you hope to be able to help with this in some way, and just follow them. And the other thing we're watching, there's no rush because he's back in custody already. Brandon Baxter, who I didn't realize who he was. The guy who was rearrested yesterday in the same way I was back in the day. It turns out to be this other guy, this anarchist fellow who I enjoyed learning about his case. Hell, he's an interesting guy. He was rearrested yesterday by the fucking U.S. Marshals after his comments appeared in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Apparently Cleveland is a horrible city, and I get that from somebody. And I believe it. It's I'm not going to apologize for laughing. It's a scummy city. It's a horrible city. And you'll see if you scroll down, this is one of the things you could look at. I posted earlier, didn't seem to pick up, but there's a couple documents someone compiled for me, articles about not Cleveland, not how Cleveland's fucked up, but just articles and things about how this one little like corrupt little group in Cleveland that oversees like no more than 90 federal inmates, and then some other halfway house people. Just the things that they have been caught doing in a corrupt city by a press that's obviously overwhelmed, having dealt with all this corruption in the last 2 years. And you'll get a sense that Cleveland is that anyone who's being fucked over in Cleveland, it's a handicap, we call it in the activist community. I think we should call it. It's a handicap because you're in an extra fucked up place where everyone's fucked up. And it's like Dallas, but it sounds like it's probably not as pretty as Dallas or stylish, and that's terrible. Okay, so we got Scott Crow here. Scott Crow he's an older guy. He's a man of action, as he described himself. He's not a theorist, as he likes to say. And he's a good guy. I met him in person first time last year. Hey, yeah, sorry. There's you probably don't. Well, I've got some streams going, and I'm trying to centralize all this information. We'll have some stuff out that covers this better, but I'll send you in a second the YouTube links because I got the recording of the FBI agent Joffrey. I'll get back. I've got a Facebook page. I'm embarrassed to say I'm embarrassed to say, hey, fellow anarchist, you want to get on my Facebook page, but that's what it's coming down to. I'm streaming this whole thing here, and I'm trying to coordinate the stuff, but there's a bunch of stuff there. But I'll get it to you either way a little later. They'll answer that. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, so sorry. The other answer is I'm outside of San Antonio. I've been for the last few months. But we're going to go to upstate New York. Around actually by now, actually we're South by Southwest now. We're moving to New York next, but then it turned out that the federal government for some reason, those Harrier jets weren't able to protect the country from tiny invisible jihadists that are germs. So I'll get back to you. It's fun. It is fun. It's all fun. I mean, it gets funnier and funnier, and that, what I mean by that is that it's going to get too funny. That can't happen. I get that. That's good. Okay, so I'm good for a second. I will turn back on the music since you've all been good and have patiently waited for me to finish whatever it is I'm doing. Then I promise I'm going to give it. Last night I made a nice little call to the front desk at the halfway house in question, the one that or asked the DOP to throw this guy back in prison for talking to the newspaper. Which is, again, we've been to this 2017 when it happened to me. It's what they did was illegal, and in this case, with Brandon Baxter, scroll down my page if you want to see stuff on that. Based on my own well-documented thing where this happened to me in 2017, you can see the articles from any number of picture poison on this rearrest by U.S. Marshals, this same kind of thing. More egregious on this occasion because this is actually a guy in the course of whistleblowing to the public about the federal government's failure, ongoing failure that they're about to compound to protect the public in a health crisis, and in fact, doing shit that the more we get into the future, the harder it is for me to finish sentences these days. I found that everything is just so baroquely and fractally terrible that it just takes so many words to describe them just sufficiently, even for a summary. But maybe I'm just. In a crisis, if someone behaves badly, you have to wait till the crisis is over to address that. And but it's important that you do so because you can't have people behaving badly in a crisis. That is not acceptable. And one is really surprised that who does and who doesn't. Sorry, I don't mean to be cryptic with you. So here's the news doesn't put on for me. Like I said, I'll be in and out in the next however long. But Turn with me. Okay, we're good. It's not usually my policy to like mention a lot of good news because I want people to be doing stuff, but there is a bunch of good news on this in terms of what we're getting and support from people who are not easy to arrest, and people who aren't sometimes can't be silenced by anyone, including the public. Talking about very nice people that have a lot of reach that we don't are helping out right now. I'm sure that's going to continue throughout the morning. So, if I didn't mention this earlier, the FBI left the location in Philadelphia about 20 minutes ago or something. I described it earlier, what he said about nature of the visit so far. Obviously, I've talked to him more about that. Oh shit! You know what? This kid is fine. Or now that he's back to work and he's cool, and his family is presumably better. Let me go back on the offensive real quick because that's how we do things here in fucking Texas, where everyone is trying to kill everyone else at all times. Okay, so I'm not gonna fuck with this Bernie Rockford because he's got a national magazine calling him right now, and I've already fucked with his desk guy last night. So I'm gonna call Joffrey whatever, Special Agent FBI Philadelphia, who you can see saying, or what did he say? Like, what did he say? Some nervous phrase he kept repeating. He said a lot of stupid shit. I'm gonna highlight that, some annotations later, because some of them are obvious, obviously, but some of them you really need a trained eye in Fed hunting to really get the full gravity of, or to find sufficiently comical to the extent that it actually is. And so you need guidance, and I'm going to provide that later on when things are above water and I've had a nap, which I'm sure will happen in 6 or 7 hours. I got on Twitter with this. Okay. I can sit here and claim that I haven't been taking my girlfriend's Adderall for the last since yesterday morning. I'm not going to say that because I can't vouch for it. But I do get a bunch done. But then over time, you have to keep staying up. Oh, sorry, I didn't say yeah. And Tiffany, I'll read you on this stuff in a second. I'll tell everyone about it. But to answer your question, their purpose, yes, it looks. I wasn't sure at first because it looks to me like there was a potential organic deal, but they've been worried about the FBI for a while. I mean, I obviously knew that they were going to get whatever. But as of I think the end of the first full day, it became we figured out why it was clear that this had pre-existed, this thing. So yeah, it was intimidation. They wanted the youngest member over something that they know is not it was not illegal or approaching illegal or would even be illegal in a joke or I could go on, and I don't want to. Yes, they're trying to get him to talk, and luckily he's a solid kid and also a square, and so he's not out there fucking doing the shit that I was doing at that age and then for the next 2 decades, almost. He's a good, square, Black Socialist 20-year-old of this new generation here. He's a millennial, but he's not worthless. Which is to me is always fascinating. Jeffrey Alsador is the name of the special agent that I spoke to in these videos. As those of you who watched the first one, as you know already, because he said, "This is Joffrey. As an African American, I'm just trying to help this kid out." You'll see he talks about his best interest. Then he'll go back to talking about he doesn't want to escalate this, he don't want to spin him up over this, and then his best interest. I'm African American. I'm from Philadelphia. As an African American, I'm really worried about threats against cops because that's a big issue that African Americans going back 400 years is protecting the feelings of cops. And I get that. And I don't want to weigh in there as a I don't want to white splain him like, no, that's wrong, fed fucking cocksucker, big bitch named Joffrey. And I don't want to do that. But luckily, we have a black organization of socialists right here that can tell them that. And they can tell them whatever they want to. He happened to knock on their door. Oh yeah, so let me call this. The guy's he's a piece of work, and I'm telling you, like I said, I've been around the block. These are federal agents, a number of scenarios, and for 4 years, and technically in prison. Those are federal law enforcement officers. Actually, it's a different term they use for them, and they don't like that. They like to be called the other term, but they're not. They're guards. They're guards. They're like, anyway. So there's a whole routine I have on them. I keep forgetting this guy's name. Joffrey. Also, I want to ask him when this is all over if we can be friends after this. Why that is his name? I'm just curious. What is your background, Joffrey? Oh, it's not this one. One record. Oh, that's Maryland. Maryland. Yeah, that makes sense. Someone please. Oh wait. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Yes. I don't mean to sound like someone who doesn't give a fuck about the Northeast, but can someone tell me, please, how is Maryland? Is it like DC? Is it close to Philadelphia yeah, Philadelphia, Philly? Are these like close places? I'm just trying to figure out which one of these is the right. Actually, no, this one's. There can't be a deputy that many. This is a version of FBI. He's a young guy. He was at the DC office, some other position, not that long ago, apparently. And he's not ready for what I am now obligated by duty to bring. And that I also happen to enjoy. He is not ready. If he is, then he'll be the fucking first one who did a good job on one of his phone calls. And he's already done a bad job on 2 of them. So that were much easier. And we're on his terms, and they weren't made to him suddenly on his personal cell phone or to his home, like this one's about to be. So it's all this. Boom, 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 boom. Joffrey Alsador. I'm a special agent. My middle initial is probably S. I may live in Maryland, depending on if Maryland is close to Philadelphia or not. I don't know, because I'm an imposter. I'm not really Special Agent Joffrey Alsador. I'm just using a funny voice to make fun of him. He's fucking punk ass fucking. I don't even know what to call this guy. He's just a fucking weirdo. Again, if you've already listened to the recordings that are up on the YouTube links posted above, you already know this. You may have your own sort of variants on like how kind of a weirdo he is. Something we're going to be talking about a lot in city for a long time, as long as it's necessary. Oh, this poor kid is. I've been saying he's from Philly and not South Jersey. Because it's Philly FBI again. What the fuck? Why was it Philly FBI? Okay, well, the little poor kid Arman, who I've been literally made fun of in a thing saying, I told him, like, Philadelphia's a shit town. He's from Jersey, not Philadelphia. So I apologize to this person and not to Philadelphia, because he's from New Jersey. And New Jersey is a fine place. Okay, I'm sorry. If I help people, I get to make fun of them as well. Too. I don't make much money at this. So. Fucking truck's driving by. Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. It is. It might be. You know what? It might be. Like, I'm gonna switch to. I need to.
You have reached the voicemail box of 24.
What's the rest of the numbers? I can't say until I verify that the number is the right one, because I don't want people. There's a lot of rapscallions out there on the internet. These young kids, and they'll get a hold of someone's number, they'll call them, and if they don't work for HB Gary or Palantir or the FBI as a compensated informant, they can get in trouble for it. But probably not right now, because the feds have bitten off more than they can chew, and that will become more evident even it is right now. I think throughout the next day or so, because this is one of a bunch of this.
The number you dialed.
Fucking sound. Man. It's like one of the few things from the 90s that I thought were over. So that wasn't real. What is 301? I don't know what that fuck. I'll call the Philly FBI real quick, then I'll call him. In fact, yeah, that's what we'll do. I'm gonna call the office. I called them the other day. They were very friendly there. Okay. For the meantime, we'll wait for that. Just trying to verify a phone number. We'll call the number that we've already used to such great import. Fucking bitch. Oh, yes. So as somebody said, we have no ideas if there's. Jeremy Ryan just asked if maybe there was a problem with Facebook. I don't know, but it's one of the few things that we can use for this right now. But if anybody knows about that kind of stuff, I don't know, maybe weigh in the comments. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Okay, I'm calling up the FBI office, Philly or New Jersey. I'm not sure, actually. This card may be bullshit. There's a few things that I'm still unclear on about some of the weird little things that the FBI does in certain cases, and somebody explained one of them to me last night, and I get the feeling there's these little modus operandi things that I'm just not aware of yet, but they're all kind of skeezy. Where is that shit? Oh yeah, here it is. Call nuisance. Blah 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 blah. That's not it. That's not it. This should be it. That should be it. All right. Let's try this.
Hello, you have reached the Cherry Hill, New Jersey office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. If this is a police or medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
If you call the feds for emergency, you're fucked.
Please hang up and visit www.ic.gov.
3 months in advance about the coronavirus.
If you are with a law enforcement agency, please press 0. If you are calling to report federal crime, such as identity theft, bank fraud, mortgage fraud, or suspicious activity, please press 1. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time. If you know your party's name and would like to use the company directly, please press 4. Otherwise, please hold for assistance. Thank you. Hello, you have reached the Cherry Hill, New Jersey office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. If this is a police or medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you are calling to report internet fraud, please hang up and visit www.ic3.gov. If you are with a law enforcement agency, please press 2. If you are calling to report a federal crime, such as identity theft, bank fraud, mortgage fraud, or suspicious activity, please press 1. If you know your party's...
I call the one from I'm with the law enforcement agency. They're always with me in my heart. So it's technically true.
FBI, may I help you?
Hi, I'm sorry. Would you be able to patch me through to the cell phone of Agent Joffrey Alcidor? I'm not sure if that's his pronunciation of his name. I spoke to him a couple of days ago. He wanted me to call him about something when I was able to get back to him.
Well, I can put you into his voicemail because I'm not sure what it is.
That'll be fine.
All right, hang on just a second.
All right, thank you. Everything I said was technically true, which doesn't technically matter because it's a cop, but I did talk to him 2 days ago, and at some point he did ask me to get back to him.
Your call has been answered by a via IP office.
Hey, Jay.
Is not available. To leave a message, press the pound. When finished recording, press pound for more options. Record at the tone.
Hi, I just wanted to report that an hour ago, 3 men came into a local establishment in New Jersey to bother a 20-year-old black youth. I believe you know him. You left your card for him on the door the other day, and then you and I had about half an hour worth of conversations about how you were trying to help him. And I recorded those because I didn't believe you, because you're an FBI agent, and as you may have determined, I am the sort of wasp who randomly calls you over Black Socialists of America, and God knows what that means. I mean, what kind of person, isn't that weird? You'll get some other calls from some other reporters in next couple hours at this number, and at I hope this is your cell phone. I'm going to check, make sure I'm not sending somebody else. But I guess you'd let me know. Otherwise, I'll just, I'd really like to, if you can call me back, actually, if on yourself, whatever, I would really like to be able to reach you that way, because otherwise I have to call around, and I don't want to bother someone at their home, like at their house, where they live with their parents or family members, like happened the other day in Philadelphia with this kid and his parents. So if you want to call me directly, whatever. Otherwise, I can just give you the number for a couple of the national journalists who are watching those recordings right now. You may remember. I'm sure you guys record on your end. I would just, you and maybe another person who's not you, different than you, should perhaps listen to those recordings and just decide how far you want to take this. You said a couple things about not wanting to escalate it, which make a lot of sense in the context of someone who wrote a tweet 2 weeks ago, deleted it. It wasn't illegal. You're not claiming it's illegal. You're on tape saying about 4 or 5 things that make it impossible. Fucking impossible. You understand me?
Length recorded. To re-record, press 1.
No, I'm good.
To delete, press star D. Is finished, press pound. To make private, press 1. To make priority, press 2. To send, priority. To make private, press 1. To remove priority status, press 2.
What does that mean?
To send, press pound.
Man, it's just send automatically.
Thank you for leaving your message.
Thank you.
To access your mailbox, press star R.
I don't have a mailbox. This is not my phone, bitch. God damn. These things are all fucked up. Anyway, so as I was going to finish saying that the things he said on those recordings make it impossible to carry out the statutes. And if they were banking on, I know what they were banking on in terms of dynamics, how this plays out. And I can only do so much, but it's gonna be fun. I think when they learn which person who has been in a lot of fucking movies in the last 10 years happens to be involved in this as well. I was pretty shocked. And when I found this thing out last night, and I'm sorry to be cryptic, I just don't want to be, but anyway, I don't want to talk out of turn, basically. But I've not been a religious person my entire life. In fact, I've never been a religious person. But as of about 7:30 p.m. last night, I realized that there's a God, and it's Allah. No, it's Elijah Muhammad, because it is just impossible that we got this lucky that this guy's going to be on this thing, because it's just going to make everything so much different than it usually is. I hope that cheers up anybody that I've bummed out the last however long, because that's an important part of this is that I wish I could follow better, which is not getting too wound up. Some things it's easier than others. Anyway, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. Trust me. And remember, activism is fun, and it gets more fun when the feds start shutting down. I'm gonna go now and get back to Twitter, and you got the YouTube videos, and I'll post back on this later. Thank you.